I'll end with this. The president was in Ohio, I guess a couple days ago at a rally. I don't want to misquote him. And he said at the rally, and I wrote this down, he said that we're virtually turned the corner. Nobody is really dying. He said, yeah, elderly people are dying, and they're dying because they have heart conditions and others, but quote, quote, they're virtually nobodies. They're the only ones dying. But the American people have all of a sudden, average people have gone, my Lord, holy mackerel, I didn't know it was this bad. A lot of them didn't know. A lot did. But a lot didn't know it was this bad. And, talking to, well, I won't go into it. I'm talking too much now in my opening statement. But here's the point. The point is, I believe we have a gigantic opportunity to fundamentally change the systemic racism and the systemic problems that exist in our system. I kid two of the guys that are on my, and that's why the economists had predicted prior to, and I'll end with this, I'm telling you too much, but because I'm pretty passionate about this, pay more bills. You're able to do more that ends up increasing the GDP, the growth of the whole economy. Number two, to make sure that we pay teachers enough money to stay in the business of teaching. My wife's a full-time teacher. My wife has never stopped. As first lady, as second lady, I should say, she taught 15 credits every semester at a community college. Before that, she taught juniors and seniors in high school for 25 years. I think it was 25. But my point is, a long time. Yeah. Although I'm not allowed to tell the exact number because my wife is 30 years younger than I am. I started off not quite that much, but now there's no woman in the entire Biden family as old as any man. But that's another issue. But all kidding aside, the fact is that it is the lifeblood of, look, people, they say, well, these children, they're all our children. More direct funding for specific programs in schools, federal, as you know, better than most will know, the bulk of all the funding for schools is local funding. Right. Local funding. Right. It's not national funding. It's not federal funding. I mean, the idea that a teacher's out there after several years making $40,000 a year, they probably have student debt larger than that. Mm-hmm. So, no, for real. And we can afford this, by the way. This is not like, this is not something that we have. Just to give you a little idea, I carry this card with me. Corporations not pay 21%, and 91 of the Fortune 500 companies pay no tax. Zero, okay? None. He thinks you should only have to pay 15% of your income. $20 million if they have it's all coming from investments. And the way I do that is I raise the tax back for, and you're going to raise your taxes. Not true. 20 Republicans in the Senate who said they don't want to spend anything on anything, for real, of fewer than 50 employees. What's happened is that not only has that not occurred, a lot of the money has gone to very big businesses that didn't need they may need it, but they didn't need it to stay alive. For their their protection against anything that happens within your restaurant. How many schools are not opening because there's no national standards set? No national standards set. For example, there's an outfit. Am I telling you too much? You want me to stop? Okay. If you take a look, and so but when I got elected when I was 29. But the problem was for 5 years, I watched how hard he worked. I don't know how you do it. You gotta love it. Even in good times, I think you're crazy. I can really do yes or no if you ask me easy questions.
All right, so we have one more easy question. It's going to be an easy question.
I mean, where does that come from? I would have an attorney general who understood his oath of office. Not a joke. Is the politicization My name is Joe Biden. I'm trying to get a job with Chris. He is Mr. President. He's President of the Union. Mr. President, I was kidding him. Well, I was kidding Chris inside. I was saying, as long as I can say what the best HBCU is in America, Delaware State University, but that's another issue. That's a joke, but it's not a joke. They're great. That's how I got my start, by the way. Because ultimately, the African-American community only is going to have its place equal to everyone else when they're in a position to be able to build wealth. It gets these significant injection. Anyone who comes from a family that makes a total income of less than $125,000 a year gets free college education. Well, it's a simple proposition for me. I mean, I exaggerated as a second grade teacher why you're so important. If I had only $1 to spend in education, and I could spend it post-graduation or pre-kindergarten, I'd spend it pre-kindergarten. Not a joke. And it's not, this is this, you think, oh, my Lord, why do we have a 3-year-old go to school? They learn as rapidly as a 6-year-old, a 12-year-old, a 14-year-old, and they just suck it all up. They just suck it all up, number one.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President, for the very, very heartfelt feelings.
Thank you, everybody. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.